Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for tuning into this episode of Phil Talks Sports. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd, 2019. Today is the anniversary of which I graduated high school 9 years ago today. Wow, where does the time go? It is also my dad's 60th birthday, Philip Nunziata II. We call him the Big Kahuna. So, Dad, I don't know if you listen to this, but if you do, happy birthday. I love you, and I can't wait to see you this weekend for your party. So, today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Usually, professional sports and mainstream sports, dominate my show, football probably more than anything. But what a lot of people that know me would know about me is that other than football, my probably second favorite sport has been soccer for many years now. Been following Orlando City, Italian national team, things like that. Played it as a kid. My sister played it longer than that. Through high school, was a really good goalie. I used to go to her games. So soccer has always been a part of my life. It's just more recently been more dominant. As like I said, I would probably call it my second favorite sport now. So we're in a situation where I live here in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, which is in the greater Daytona Beach area, where if you wanted to go to a sporting event past, let's say, the high school level, you would need to go to Jacksonville or Orlando or Tampa. As big of a place as Daytona Beach is, when you get out of NASCAR, there's really not a lot of sporting events to go to. The only sports team that we have in our area is the Daytona Tortugas minor league baseball team. They're a single A affiliate, high A affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds, a team that I work for, a team I'm very proud and lucky that I get to work for, a team, a great organization that has a lot of great people in it. But when you're not me and you're not working for them and you're just someone that's trying to get some sports in Daytona, that's really your only option, and we do a great job, and it's a fun time. So if you haven't been and you're in the area, please come by. But we have recently been we recently enjoyed the addition of a new sports team in our area, Daytona Soccer Club. It is a amateur league, I guess you could call it. It is in the league USL2, which the way a USL2 league works is every player on the team is more than likely on the college level already, but it is a club they play out of season. They still keep their eligibility to return to their team in college once this season is over. For anyone who's interested in the soccer pyramid of what's considered a professional team, what's considered not, the way leagues or teams are, I recently stumbled across this really good YouTube video. YouTube channel is called Become Elite. The title is very simple: The U.S. Professional and Semi-Professional Leagues Explained. The guy really breaks it down very well. I don't know the guy personally, but he has a really simple, it's like under 10 minutes, it looks like here, this video, and it really sums up the way the pyramid works in the United States, which is constantly changing. Like, I imagine he'd have to make another video by next year, because things are really working that way. But this is basically, I would almost call it a minor league system as well. It's the last tier before you'd be considered a professional. So anyway, I recently, I've been involved with this team really since the get-go, not so much working with them, but as a fan. Me and a few select others, one or two of them you're going to hear from later in this episode. We actually got to be at the press conference when they announced the club. Steve Hutton and a few other guys are kind of the brains behind this. They're out at Daytona Municipal Stadium, which, if you're familiar with the area, is where like Mainland High School and stuff would play their games. So we've kind of been a part of this from the beginning. We're a couple matches into the season so far. Currently, doing very well, undefeated actually. 1 tie, no losses, and 2 wins actually at the top of our division at the moment. So the first thing I want to bring up is my inclusion with this club is me and a few select others, the same amount of us that were at the press conference to announce this team. We started the supporters group for this club. We were known as the 386, the area code of obviously Volusia County in the Daytona area. So we have established this supporter group for this club. It's really awesome to be a part of it from the ground up, and a lot of this would not have happened without some of the people that I've met through Orlando City and the Ruckus, another supporters group that I am a member of. So real quick, it's a pretty short interview, but I did get to talk with Cody Perkins. This is a guy that helped create a branch off of the Ruckus. It is Volusia Ruckus. It's the affiliate part that he's been familiar with how to create these things. And when I first sent these guys, hey, we're going to have a team closer to home, his initial thought was we have to get a supporter group going for it. Immediately sent an email, to the brass of this club, and they got back to him, I think, within the next day. So we've just been rolling ever since. So this was after the first game. They had like an exhibition game on May 4th. They ended up winning 2-0. So this is after the game. We're kind of packing up our tailgate and everything. It is a little windy in the recording, so I apologize for that. But it was pretty late. It was like 10 o'clock at night. So this is me and Cody just talking about, really quickly, our experience after this first game and finally seeing after all this admin and all the creation of this finally come to life. So this is me and Cody after the first game of Daytona Soccer Club. All right, so I'm here with Cody at Daytona Stadium here. It was the final. The game just ended here a minute ago, 2-0 to the good guys. And Cody, you're used to games with 20,000 plus people in the stands. How does it feel to get back to the grassroots of soccer here?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, this whole thing, it's about the smaller size. It's more intimate. And I love being able to get to know the players, get to know the team, the FO. It's small culture, small group. It's like a family. So it's a lot different, gets more down to the hometown local club feel.
Yeah, I mean, you've created a branch off of a well-known MLS supporter group. So how does it feel to kind of, when this team was starting up, Daytona Soccer Club, you had a lot of experience in creating the supporter group. How did you go about, you did a branch off of a major one. How does it help to, start one from the ground up?
It's definitely hard. There's no one, there's no baseline. There's nobody that, tells you what to do. So pretty much just want to get a group of like-minded people to support the club. We don't need to be like anyone. We don't have to compete with anyone. We're just here for the love of the game. So I'm just here to, hang out with people and support the club that are like-minded and want to see a local club like Daytona SC grow.
Do you have any goals looking forward? In a perfect world, what do you want this supporter group for this club to be?
One of the premier supporter groups in USL too, if not the best. So, I mean, as many people out here, chanting, singing the entire 90 minutes, setting a standard with tifos, displays, flags, smoke, the whole 9 yards. I mean, why not be that?
Well, as long as we have people like you, I think that we can make that happen. So, Cody, thanks again.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll see you next time. All right, so that was me and Cody after the first match. I know it was a little quick. It was pretty late, like I said earlier. So we were just ready to pack up and be done. But I think in the future I'll have him on again, and we'll probably have a little bit longer of a talk. So after the first game goes, again, that was like an exhibition game. So before the next one geared up, we were playing Treasure Coast. This is May 15th, so about a week and a half later. We were talking about, okay, we've done it. We've been to the first game. We had this same, 5 to 10 people that have known about this club since the initial live stream on Facebook about the club being announced. So then we kind of looked at who could we add, who do we know that wants to, be a part of this. So, everyone kind of sends their feelers out. A few people got back to us. Some people didn't. So the first person that got back to me was a friend of mine, Luke Shultz, who is PE coach. He's, sports is very much a part of his life. He's a very active person. He's not as familiar with soccer per se, but definitely what I showed him and what we do, he was, very intrigued and wanted to be involved. So he ended up coming out to that first game, liked it, joined on the spot. He was probably, if I'm not mistaken, the first member of the 386 that wasn't an original member. So he's like in whatever the first wave of new members. He's, if not the first, he's got to be in the first 2 or 3. So on our way to our second match here, I wanted to get his thoughts of the first game and his, the way he thought it was going to be, how it actually was, and just his opinion, because a lot of this is new to him. So it was very open-minded. As Cody said in the interview, the goal is to just get a bunch of like-minded, open-minded people to be a part of this, and I think Luke is definitely going to be that, and I'm glad he's a part of it. And so we just kind of got his opinion as someone who's kind of new to the whole thing, and that was on our way up to the second match. So this is it right now, me and Luke just talking on the way up. Alright, I'm here with Luke Shultz. We're riding up to the second Daytona Soccer Club game. We're, maybe 20 minutes away. So real quick, Luke, you were at the first game with me. You were like the first person we added to the supporters group other than the original founders, and you've enjoyed sports, but soccer's kind of new to you. So overall, what was your experience from that first game?
Yeah, I wasn't too sure walking into it, what to expect, but it was definitely a great vibe. before the game and during the game and even after the game. I like local high schools and local sports and all that. I love supporting them, and so getting to be a part of this group and getting to support this club was a new experience for me, but it was definitely a fun one, and I'm super excited about this next game.
Much like me, you also went to UCF. A lot of your sports allegiances are in Orlando, whether it be the Magic, UCF, like I just said. But we both grew up in this Daytona area, and there's not a lot of sports past maybe the high school level. We do have our minor league, Daytona Tortugas, shout out to them. I work for them and everything, and I enjoy doing it. But we've never really had a lot of sports teams. We had arena football back in the day, but, nothing that really was long term. So, as much as I love going to Orlando for games, I think it definitely adds a little bit of charm to our hometown to have more sports in our area.
Oh, absolutely. And getting to meet the people, not only in the supporters group, but seeing the families that were out there and, the local high school band at Atlantic High School play during the halftime show, it just has a lot more of that cozy feeling of, and kind of a prideful feeling knowing that this is something that's taken off in your area that you can be a part of the growth of.
Yeah, and there'll be plenty of growth, but I think what's cool is we're literally there from ground zero.
Exactly.
There's nothing has happened in this group or this team that we haven't been there for, and we have a lot of the guys are from some colleges a little bit farther away, but there's 4 guys from Daytona State College that we've also both went to. So just the local players, guys that when I was in college, I recorded their games and stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be cool to just let this team grow just year to year, and it'll feel like a hometown thing. It's almost like high school, you get the pride that you went there. Obviously, nobody goes to the University of a soccer club or anything, but it's almost like an alumni feeling because it is so close to home.
Oh yeah, and especially starting off the first game ever with a win. I'm really hoping that this one kind of follows suit. But yeah, it was definitely an exciting feeling.
So, where do you stand as far as I know me and you both football is probably our number 1 sport, but soccer has easily become my number 2. Just at the game itself, did you have any curiosities about the quality of play that you were going to see? What did you think of the game itself?
Well, soccer, I started watching some UCF soccer last season, and I got to say that it seemed like it was up to par with that. And so I got to say, for a starting club and all that to show the quality of work that they put in and the determination and everything, it was on that high college level already. And so it's something that they should be proud of as the players.
Yeah, and I mean, this team really hasn't been together, I think, at most, a month total. The team being, everyone brought together. I think some guys have been here longer than others. But to really kind of, you can plan as much as you want, but once there comes time to actually play a game, it's we're doing this, whether we're ready or not. And, they definitely rang the bell. They answered the challenge. And hopefully they can do that again tonight.
Yeah, I think the coaches definitely did something right during that month.
Awesome, yeah. All right, man. Well, we're about to be here at this game. Hopefully we get another win, but thanks for talking to me.
Of course.
All right, so that was me and Luke on our way up to the game that ended up being a 1-0 victory for us. Since then, the team has gone on the road for a 1-1 draw in Lakeland, and then came back another game on the road, actually, a 1-0 victory in Sarasota. So the team's clearly undefeated, 2 wins, 1 tie. It's been a great experience so far. Obviously, there's plenty of season left to see. I think our next home game here is June 1st, it looks like. So if you're in the area and you're interested and you like soccer and you just like a good time with some good people, I recommend it. Look up Daytona Soccer Club on Facebook. The 386 supporter group is also on Facebook. They both also have Twitters and Instagrams, depending on your social media of choice. So if you're in the area, I highly recommend you checking it out. And if you're not, if there's plenty of other teams around Florida if they're closer to you. And if you are in another state listening to this, first of all, thank you. And otherwise, the USL League 1 and 2 have clubs all over the country. I think League 2 has 70-something teams, and League 1 actually has 90-something teams. So chances are there's a club in your area closer than you think. And then obviously, support your local MLS club. Just support American soccer. It's really a great time to be a fan right now with all the leagues. And some people, being an Orlando City fan, maybe aren't too keen on also giving attention to another Florida club. But the way I see it is they're two different leagues. It's not really something that affects anything. I'm proudly a member of the 386 and the Volusia Ruckus, and I don't see an issue with it. I'm supporting local, and I'm supporting my home team on multiple levels, and I think that's what everyone should do. I don't see any reason not to do that. A lot of the people in our group are Orlando City fans also, and they go to those games, and they support the Lions just as much as they're going to support Daytona, and I think that's the right way to do it. Just support your local teams and the teams that you're passionate about. So real quick, before I get out of here, I just want to give a shout-out to Brandon and Craig. They're also newer members on 386. They showed up to the latest match. Want to give another shout-out to Steve Hutton, the president of this club, and really made a lot of it happen. Keoki Hutchins, the director of operations, he's probably the hardest-working guy in this club. He makes a lot of stuff happen, and just how thankful we all are that they've been so welcoming to us, and we really feel like we're a part of it, and we continue to do so. So this is a relatively quick episode. I just wanted to highlight kind of what I've been interested in and what I've been working with lately. It's been a great time, and I look forward to the rest of the season. It's going to be a really fun summer with these guys and everything that we have going. So if you're interested, hit me up, hit up the 386. And if you're not in this area, like I said, check out one of your clubs, because you never know. You could have a club closer than you think. All right, guys, that's it for today. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode. If you haven't already, please give me a follow on Twitter at PhilTalkSports. You can listen to these podcasts on Spreaker.com, iTunes, and if you search Phil Talk Sports Podcast on YouTube, the entire playlist comes up of this episode and any one that comes before it. So thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.